Okay, welcome back to the data science class, everyone. Today we are going to actually learn about data storage and retrieval. How you can learn, you can actually store your data and you can retrieve it. We have so many of these database languages. SQL, MySQL, and a whole lot cloud platforms. They are all available. As a data scientist, you should actually determine which type of storage your data needs. After today's lesson, you will be able to know that every data, in fact, it's unique and it actually differs in terms of storage. You can store relational data on document database. At the end of this lesson, you will get to know all these and you will take something from it. Any question before we begin?
Lucy,
Yes, Prince.
so with our first assignment,
Yes.
uh, yeah, we were asked to group. Was it you give us a set of data and you asked us to group it and provide a chart, and
Yes.
then based on our analysis, you should predict.
Yes.
You should the information.
Mhm.
But when we group it, with the grouping, when we group it, you see that instead of maybe physical science to appear once, it appears maybe thrice.
Okay. Do you have your data with you right now?
Yes, but I'm using my phone. It's on the laptop.
Okay. Um, Let me see if I have my data here. Then I'll this data sets. Okay. Where is this data set? Let me see. Okay, so I think it is this one. Okay, so let me visualize it and take you through some quick I've seen what you are facing, the problem you are facing here. We are going to, so I'm sharing a screen on a data set, then I'll show you how to. Okay, so Prince, you are facing problem with this column, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is to prevent that problem. What you have to do here is, so you see we have BS chemistry, we have major chemistry, chemistry major, we have chemistry, we have single chemistry. These are all chemistry. And so I told you guys to change all chemistries to what? What did I
Yeah,
tell
you
you?
said you change all these things to chemistry,
Chemistry.
and you gave us the instructions, and we followed it. Even when you change the physical sciences to physical science, after you do it and you send it to the chat, you see that um,
Okay.
it appears thrice.
Let me actually do very few of them here and pick this data and go and visualize some of them. So I'm doing chemistry and biological. So let me pick up to here. Let me copy. Okay, so I'm picking my data here. I'm pasting my data here. I'm coming to edit. So instead of the physical science, I'm doing physical. Earths, I'm just doing earth. Chemistry should be just chemistry. That's chemistry. Chemistry. Every chemistry is chemistry. So biological science, so I'll do it biological. Biological, I'll do it biological. Physical, I'll do it physical. Then chemistry major, I'll do it chemistry, biological. Okay, now let's visualize this thing. Now, so I'll select this my column, go to insert, then click on pivot. Then I'll select existing worksheet, select here. I'll click on OK. Now I'll drag my chemistry here. Then I'm going to drag my chemistry also here. So there's what we have. We have chemistry at 1, physical 2, biological 4. But we are having 2 chemistries. It means one of them you spelled it. Let me check. Biological 4, physical 2. Do you actually get something like this? Friends.
Yes, sir.
So you get, so the chemistry, you get 2 types of chemistry there. How do you get it?
Hello, sir.
Yes, how do you get it?
Yes, you had 2 chemistries, or
Yes, I had 2 chemistries.
yeah, that was it. That was how my own came.
So you had 2 chemistries.
Yes, and 3 physical sciences. That's when I used all the data provided. I followed the instructions strictly. So I
Okay.
had 3 physical sciences and 2 chemistry. I realized that the names too some were duplicated, so I had to write all down and change those ones.
Okay.
But still, it appeared twice. That was the problem I was facing. That's why I was not able to analyze it properly and make predictions. So I was like, should we use the same what we've gotten to make the prediction, or is it an error? Or
Okay. Let me try and edit this thing. Okay. So let's make this capital C underscore chemistry. So I'm trying to modify it, capital C underscore chemistry. So let me use this wherever chemistry is. Okay. Now I've tried to modify my file wherever chemistry is. I've made it capital C underscore chemistry. Let me insert it. Okay, so this time right has come. Okay, so this is what you do. You can actually modify the ones duplicating. So the chemistries, you can add a certain letter first. So you see what I've done here. I have actually made it all chemistries capital C then underscore chemistry. Have you seen it? If you make it like this, you should be able to visualize your data. You should get them accurately like this. So you try and
Okay, so said that with the physical science, you should
yes.
say
So use P for the physical, so P underscore for
with the okay.
okay. Are you okay now?
Oh, what else? Yeah, yes, yeah, yes, yeah. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yes, please.
Okay.
When I'm facing any problem, I'll send a message to you through
Sure.
the Slack channel.
Sure. Okay, let's actually be fast and continue here. Now, today, as I told you, I'm going to teach you guys how to store data and retrieve it. Every data you have, in fact, is stored on different databases. You can't just put document database in relational database. It's never done anywhere. We are starting. Okay. Now, there are efficient ways of storing and retrieving data. The data you've collected in your organization or wherever you've collected your data. There are so many ways in you actually storing your data. In fact, data projects can actually require or result in small amount of data or large amount of data for you to store it. One, you can store data either on your single machine anywhere, or you can make someone store your data for you on his or her computer, then you pay. That one is referred to as the cloud storage. That's how it means. You are storing your data, your information on someone's computer for you to pay. You can also store it on a single computer somewhere. It's also called server. You can also store it on server. We actually have a lot of cloud services, cloud storage services, where you store your data for on a company's server, then you pay. For example, we have Google Cloud, we have iCloud, we have Microsoft Azure, we have Amazon Web Services. These are all cloud services. They provide you with the needed storage. You put your data there, then you pay. Okay. In fact, there are different types of data, and these different types of data require different storage solutions. Take note, there are different types of data. Okay, Kennedy, speak.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please, about the cloud. This telecommunication companies, that's the MTN, Vodafone, and things. Please, do they also have something like a cloud?
Right. Yes, they have something like, but it depends on that particular company. If they want to, some companies, they have their own service whereby they have their own data centers. They have the data scientists managing that data center, meaning that's where they put their data. Some too subscribe to this big data companies like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, iCloud, for them to put it there. You get it? So any organization has data, but it depends on the organization to choose either to build its own data center or to buy from some other company.
Okay, please, thank you.
You're welcome. Right, let's continue. Okay. So as I was saying, example of these companies you can actually pay them to actually store your data on We have this Microsoft, we call them the one cloud, or yes, the Azure, Microsoft Azure. Then we have Amazon Web Services, the AWS, Amazon Web Services. Then we have the Google Cloud. I believe you all know Google Cloud. Yes, they also provide these cloud services. Then we have the iCloud too. But these companies, the main advantage of working with these companies is that they can actually draw analytics about your data for you. Because you see, these companies are very advanced and they can use their data, draw analytics, by use artificial intelligence and deep learning to actually draw things for you. That's the advantage of these people. Okay, now as I was saying, you know that data, we have different types of data, and note the different type of data require different storage solutions. You can't just put any data on any storage. As a data scientist, you should know the data type you have, and you should know the specific storage media it requires for you to store that particular data on it. Some data are structured. When we talk about some data are unstructured, when you talk about unstructured data, for example, please hope you are writing things down. When we talk about unstructured data, so example is an email, text, video, audio files, web pages, social media messages. These data are called unstructured data. Example, emails, text, videos, audio files, web pages, and social media messages. These are classified under unstructured data. We should know the data type before you choose a data storage. Okay, now we are talking about unstructured data. This unstructured data, such as the email, text, video, audio, web pages, and social media, these data types are stored in a type of database called a document database. These unstructured data types, like email, text, video, audio files, web pages, and social media messages, this type of data is often stored in a type of database called a document database. Please take note of this. As a data scientist and you have this data in possession, know that the database you are going to go for should be a document database. Okay. Most commonly, data can be expressed as tables of information, like what you find in spreadsheet. So like the spreadsheet I just opened, you see the data are grouped in tables and under column. Both of these types of databases can be found on the cloud storage providers that were mentioned earlier. So in meaning, when you have these types of data, either a data that is structured, those using tables, and those and unstructured, example email, text, video files, etc. This data you can opt for cloud storage, but when you go to the cloud storage, opt for a document database for the unstructured. Then the next one, for the structured one, like those require tables, the one you find in the spreadsheet. So that one requires a database that stores information in tables. It's called a relational database. A database that stores information in tables, like the one in your Excel, is called relational database. These two different databases can all be found on these cloud services. The Amazon, the Microsoft, the Google, the Apple, they all have it on their cloud. But you as a data scientist, you should know the type of data you are going to store. And when you get there, you should know the type of database each of them is going. You can't go and put video in a relational database. No, relational database deals with data that are being stored in tables, whilst the video types, audio, text, all those things are stored in document database. So we have two main types of databases: document database and relational database. Example of relational database are the spreadsheet every database with a table. Okay, we are moving on. Please, any question? Okay.
So did you say there are two types of databases, or you said there are two types of uh, data storage,
Okay.
like ways to store data?
There are two types of databases that you can store your data inside. That's one, a document database and a relational database. Whilst the document database takes data type like videos, text messages, social media text, a whole lot. And the relational database are the ones which uses the Excel. So they are the tables, or they are the information you can put in tables. Those falls under relational database. Please, any other question? Right, let's continue. Once data has been stored in either of these databases, in fact, we need a way to retrieve our data or to request a specific piece of data. In fact, maybe we would want to retrieve a data from a database, telling it that we want every picture in the database that was created on the 5th of April. So we need something that can retrieve or that can call the database for us, but we can't just go through all this numerous data and find what we want. No, we can actually query, write some code, and bring the very data we want outside of the numerous database. We call it query. 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 Okay. Now note, each of these databases, that the document database and the relational database, has its own unique query language. They all have their separate query languages. Each own unique query language. Now, for document database, they mainly uses NoSQL query. So it's together NoSQL. NoSQL query. While the relational databases mainly uses SQL. So the first one is the document people, they use a query called NoSQL database, and that's NoSQL. Whilst the other one, the relational database people, they use SQL query. Now, SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Structured Query Language. Structured Query Language. And the NoSQL stands for not only SQL. The NoSQL query stands for not only SQL. Any question here before we continue?
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm listening.
Is it SQL or SQL?
SQL.
Oh,
SQL.
okay. But it is pronounced.
Come again.
It is pronounced SQL.
SQL, like when you are saying it faster. So that's how it will sound to someone. SQL.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, SQL. Because you are pronouncing it faster. But if you are pronouncing it SQL, that it stands for Structured Query Language. And the NoSQL stands for not only SQL. Okay. In fact, let's take this instance of a scenario. Storing your database is actually like building a library. In the first place, you need to know where, or you need to decide where you want to build your library. So as a data scientist, you have a data. Now you are thinking about where to store this data. Where to store this data. So here, your choosing of location becomes your burden. So here it will come to you. It's either you store your data on a cloud or either on your own service. You choose it. Either you store your database on a cloud storage or your own service. After making such decision, you proceed to actually know whether the documents you are going to actually save it, does it form under document database, that's for unstructured data, or a relational database, that's for tabular data. You need to find out that after choosing whether to store it on your own server or the cloud, what type of data are you holding? Is it a structured for a document database, or is it unstructured for a document database, or a structured or tabular data for relational database? You need to know what the data you are holding is like before you might also proceed. Now, if you find out it is an unstructured data, automatically it's going to the document database, and the vice versa will be going to a relational database. Any question before we proceed? Right, our class ends any moment from now. We will join again. We will rejoin again.